Let's get into some nerdy stuff.
Servers, that's the nerdiest.
We are starting to have some of these meetings with different areas of the company. So I'm going to try to summarize this, and this should be hopefully good value for like anyone in our position, which is we're 2 years in. We made a little bit more money than we thought this year, which is good. We decided to reinvest it in a couple of key areas, one being branding, two being marketing, 3, 4, and 5 come because of those things, which basically my coach said, hey, we think you have a good product. We think that the branding and the marketing is going to work, which means you must be thinking about capacity in HR so that you don't bottleneck as you start to scale. Eventually, the big bottleneck we're going to have is going to be the internet. Our server can currently handle 11 workstations, all on 10 gig. We use Parsec to remote in, and it's not really that secure, number one. And number two, it's not that scalable. At the moment, I need a 12th computer. I don't know what I'm going to do. And, we definitely don't have an offsite backup and things like that. So we met with a friend to start really nerding out about it. And I just got to say, it felt so good to just be like a total tech head and talk about things that I knew Grace had like sounded like an alien language. Shout out.
I totally logged out, checked out. And after the first 2 sentences.
Yeah, but here's what I think is the coolest thing, and I can kind of tell you guys what our long-term plan is, and hopefully as we continue to do this podcast, you'll see it. But the long-term plan is to essentially buy property anywhere in America that is extremely secure and has extremely rock-solid internet with at least multiple providers. We'll build a supercomputer as a server, and then we'll basically run a bunch of scalable, right? A bunch of virtual machines off of that and scale it up and down depending on what we need around the world and have people Parsec or whatever service we're going to use remoting into those machines to do the work. I think it's super cool. And then of course the one, like I said, the biggest bottleneck being the internet. Well, essentially if you have a stable ground line coming in like a Fios or something like fiber optics, and then you have a backup service provider like something like a Starlink or whatever, right? Like a satellite provider in case something happens to the ground. You're kind of doubly covered. And so just like how your server will have a fail-safe to switch on to the backup server or supercomputer, we'll also have one for the internet. So now it basically covers every single possible vulnerability you can have from an infrastructure standpoint. And it's really exciting. Obviously, I can't do it now, but knowing where we need to get to for the ultimate amount of safety, reliability is exciting. And it essentially means that I actually can be international, can be fully remote, and sort of launch all these different systems out across the world, which is really exciting. I can tell we already lost Grace and also probably half of our viewership with that. But for those who made it through, I'm proud of you. Shout it out in the comments. Be loud and proud. Tech is cool.